My best take, Felipe, is the New Orleans Saints being the best team in the NFC South, and I agree with that. Wholeheartedly, 100%. I think they are the best team in that NFC South, one of the, if not the best team in the NFC, right up there. And it's kind of crazy how the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are now, the favorites in the NFC South. And I like the Buccaneers. We've had arguments on here about Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, and I think I do like them. I'm not overlooking them at all.
Yeah, right.
But they're not better than the Saints. They're not better than the Saints collectively. I mean, you got Drew Brees, you got him back. You got I think this is a prove it year for Kamara, because last year there's no Mark Ingram. There's no more Mark Ingram. He didn't score last year. He scored, but not a lot.
I think they underutilized him, but that's a different story.
Right. You got Michael Thomas, as much of a a diva and a loser he is on Twitter. Man, he's
I don't know if diva's the right word, but he is a crybaby though.
He's just a baby. He's a baby. Yeah. They picked up Emmanuel Sanders. They got him a nice little pickup. So he has a chance to get back to the Super Bowl. And your defense, Cam Jordan. You got Lattimore. You got defensive players, and you got Sean Payton. I just think what they've done in the chemistry around that team, the chemistry around them, is just better. It's more authentic than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I like the Buccaneers and what they got brewing, but they got to show me before you can just jump the Saints. You can jump the Panthers, Tampa Bay. You can jump the Panthers. That's fine to me. You can jump Atlanta, but to jump the Saints, and the Saints have choked a little in the playoffs, but I'm not having them jump the Saints yet because we haven't seen anything from them. And Tom Brady's another year older as well.
Yeah, talent's only one factor to me. Like, obviously, the Saints have a lot of talent. Like you mentioned, Michael Thomas and Drew Brees and Kamara and the defensive guys that you said, because a lot of Drew Brees' career in the Saints, they've always had a good offense, really, but the defense hasn't really been there. Right. But now they do have a good defense. But the thing for me is that this is a proven team. I'm never going to take, especially within a division like that, and we know that, like in the NBA, division rivalries aren't a thing, right? You got rivals as far as just who is your biggest competitor, really, whether it's in the conference or the NBA as a whole. But in the NFL, divisional rivalries are a real thing. It's one of the best parts about the game. And the Saints have won the division each of the past 3 years. They've been to the playoffs every single year, been to the NFC Championship game. And the Buccaneers have been 5-11 2 of those years, 7-9-1. And, like, for me, a team that has proven themselves each year and they're established, I'm never going to be able to just jump another team over them based on just, a few offseason additions. We've seen the Eagles do that. The Eagles, how many flashy offseasons have the Eagles had? You know what I mean? Where they've added all these guys and then it just turns out they don't work well together. And I'm not doubting Tom Brady's ability to be pretty good this year. I do think he's fallen off a lot. I do think he's an average quarterback, but I'm not doubting that he's going to make them better, at least better than Jameis Winston, was. If Rob Gronkowski can play, I don't know if he can because he's been out of the game. Like, I think we need to consider that a little bit too, because as much as he did get rest from playing those years, that could be a negative as well. Who knows if he is not in his game flow anymore, if he lost a step. And Wirfs, at the end of the day, the big offensive tackle that they got, he out of Iowa, I believe. Wirfs. He is a rookie who's never played in the big leagues before. So we need to take a full step back from this whole evaluation of the Buccaneers and let's blind the flash right now. Let's just put blinders on and look at them as an organization, because what was the last time you saw in the NFL a bad organization win with just flashy guys with good talent? Like, you don't. It's in the NFL, you win with really good organizations. Even in the NBA, you talk about the Warriors are a first-class organization. The Lakers are a first-class organization. The Boston Celtics are a first-class organization. Miami was a first-class organization when they were winning. So in the NFL, it's the same thing. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers aren't that, right? I mean, the last time they won, they had John Gruden, and what was it, like about 20 years ago? I mean, yeah. So it comes a lot more than just talent for me. It's just they're just not an established organization. They're not a respected organization in the NFL. Nobody looks at them and say, "I'm scared of the Buccaneers." I don't care what kind of talent they have. So, because at the end of the day, you look at the Steelers. I don't care how much talent they don't have in a certain year. You look at the Steelers, and it's still the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah. You know what I mean? So if they don't have that, they don't have that.
For sure, 100%. Now, I will say, like, I would not be surprised by the end of the year if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did end up winning. Say they went 11-5, the Saints went 10-6. I wouldn't be surprised. But for me to say, like, they're better than them right now, they should be the division favorites. That's what's crazy. There's no reason why they should be the division favorites. I mean, like you said, all those points you made, they're not a first-class organization. That's another thing they got to prove. I don't even know if they're the most popular team in their own state. I don't know, you know, as bad the Dolphins haven't been, but I think the Dolphins historically, I think they're more popular than them. Not that means a lot, but you got there's so many factors. And the Saints, it's hard to play in that dome, man. Them fans are crazy. Them fans, they got some of the best home fans in the league, and absolutely. I think the Saints got a huge chip on their shoulder now. They think they should have been in the Super Bowl probably the last 3 years, to be honest. Especially after the Stephon Diggs play. You know, they think they should be there, and they got a lot to prove. This probably might be Drew Brees last year. So if it's Drew Brees last year, it might be Sean Payton's last year in New Orleans. Who knows? He might venture off somewhere else. So I think this is a prove-it year, and they think they got this chip on their shoulder. That's why they went to getting Emmanuel Sanders, get some of these other players. Still got a defense out there. And I think Alvin Kamara is the X factor this year. I think he might have a great year because they're going to have to use him like they did in the past, because last year just wasn't it. Like you said, they underutilized him. They're going to have to use him to his advantage. He's one of the best pass catchers out of the backfield in the league. He can run between the tackles. He can make you move. He is shifty. He is shaky. He can do a lot of these things. He's explosive. Great. Yeah, so they got to use him more to their advantage because he's that type of player that you just don't leave. It's like the Packers with Aaron Jones. They found something Aaron Jones, and they just gave him the ball. So he scored 19 touchdowns. That's how Kamara's got to be utilized for them, you know, to get over the hump. And I think they got that huge chip on their shoulder. And it's a prove-it year. And I don't think they're going to let anybody try to win that division without saying anything. Yeah,
and to Alvin Kamara's point, he's a lot better than Aaron Jones. So he's
more talented.
Great at that. You utilize him, and let's not forget he was Offensive Rookie of the Year. He really came on the scene. And it took him a few games to get on the scene, too. So when he finally did, then he just blew up. And last year, I do think he was underutilized. I think him and Christian McCaffrey are very similar players, but McCaffrey has kept ascending throughout last year, where Kamara, I think because of a lack of the right utilization of him, kind of slowed down a little bit. But I'm glad you mentioned that, because the Saints do have a chip on their shoulder. And it's weird coming from an organization like that, because maybe you think they shouldn't because of we know who the Saints are. We've been knowing who they are. But if you wanted to give this team more motivation than they already had, with obviously the first time the first Vikings blunder, that's on them. They should have made that play. The second one, they were completely robbed out of that. The pass interference was a terrible call against the Rams. They should have made the Super Bowl that year, and I think they would have won. And you know, this team. This team, we expect them to be great, but now all of a sudden, just because the Buccaneers add Tom Brady, a 42-year-old quarterback, 42, 43, whatever he is, you give him that. You add a tight end that hasn't played in a couple seasons, and then all of a sudden an NFL lineman that's drafted in the first round turns the tide over. Like, it's kind of disrespectful. If I'm the Saints, I've proven to be really good and be a Super Bowl contender the past 3 years. And all of a sudden, this team who adds a quarterback that's almost in a retirement home, you add a tight end that hasn't played the game and a player who's never played in the NFL. And I'm sure they've had a couple other additions, but those are the additions that took them over the top. It's kind of disrespectful from the Saints. Like we've proved ourselves already. We've proven ourselves already. So it's kind of disrespectful. So if there was a chip, if you could have another chip on your shoulder than what you've already had, they do now. And it's dangerous if I'm the Buccaneers. Because don't even overlook the Panthers. Don't overlook the Falcons. You never know what they could do either. Yeah. But the Saints, that's the last team you really want to get startled.
Yeah, I'll overlook the Panthers. But the Falcons, I wouldn't overlook the Falcons. They might, never know, they might have something. They might change direction this year. But yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you 1,000%, man. That chip on the shoulder of the Saints. I don't know why they're getting jumped by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now.